You clicked on this video today because you are looking for things to do in Colorado Springs. And whether you're just visiting or you're local, these are some of my favorite things that I recommend everybody do at least once. I will also include a couple of places to stay, whether it's for yourself or maybe some recommendations for family or friends that are coming to see you. If that sounds like something you're interested in, stay tuned. Before we get to it, please like this video and subscribe to our channel to learn more about everything there is to do living in Colorado Springs. So first I want to start off with a couple of my favorite recommendations of places to stay. There is a new hotel right downtown Colorado Springs. It's at the corner of Cimarron and Nevada, and it is called Kinship Landing. Kinship Landing is a bit unique, and it definitely has a certain look to it. It's not going to be like a Hilton or a Holiday Inn. It definitely has a hipster feel. They have a lot of live plants, and they use a lot of neutral tones, so it definitely has a lot of like gray and brown working in there. There's also a cafe and a bar inside the Kinship. And they have a few different room options that make them pretty unique. So they, of course, have your standard suites. They have double queen, single king, single queen. But what's really cool is they have them labeled city side or mountainside. So basically that means whether you're facing east or you're facing west, the mountains are west. Either way, it's probably a fantastic view. It's also pretty cool because they have like these garage door type windows. They're all clear, like they are windows, but then they roll up like a garage door would, so you have a big open balcony. They also offer some unique options outside of their typical suites. So they offer camping spots. I don't know anywhere else in town that does this. There might be other things like this, but I don't know of them. But it's really cool. You basically like rent a little balcony, and it has fake grass, and you can set up your camp, your tent. You bring all your own stuff. They just give you the spot to put it. It says it can fit 6 people, and that's a super cool option if you're kind of maybe on a road trip camping and want to stay in town this time. And it's just unique. It's really cool. I'm pretty sure the balconies are up high, so you'd also have a view of whether it's city side or mountainside. And then of course you get the amenities like having a real bathroom. I'm guessing there's showers. I'm not super sure. The camping spots I think are like $20, but they do get booked up pretty quick. So if that's something you're interested in, look at it sooner rather than later. And then the third thing that they offer is shared bunks. So they're separated male and female, and you just buy a bunk in a shared room. I think they're like $45. You can also rent a whole room with 8 bunks if maybe you're traveling with friends and stuff. And then they have some hybrid rooms. Like I saw one that has a queen bed and a bunk. So that's not something that's usually super common in Colorado Springs, like the hostel style stays. So that's a really cool option if you're interested in that as well. They do get booked up pretty quick. So if you are interested in staying at Kinship, definitely get on it sooner rather than later. The next place I want to tell you about is actually the place my mom stayed last time she was in town. When she comes, she's usually here for 1 to 2 months, so she looks for 30-day furnished rentals with a kitchen because she likes to be able to cook. And she ended up finding this place on Airbnb. You can book it through their website as well, and it is called the Cheyenne Canyon Inn. It's going to be a super cool spot to stay if you are interested in doing anything outdoorsy, because it is right in North Cheyenne Canyon, and there is a ton of stuff to do in North Cheyenne Canyon. You can go hiking. There's a bunch of trails right outside of the inn, and it's just super close to everything over there towards the mountain. I'm not sure how many rooms exactly they have. I want to say it's about 10, and they do have some permanent residents living there. So you have like some roommates and then some Airbnb people too, but it's like The house is, or the inn I should say, is kind of just a giant house. And it's very grand. The style of everything is like, I wouldn't say it's outdated, but it's that old look, like furniture with big wood on it, and it's just very grand. My mom got to stay there throughout the holidays, like Christmas and New Year's, and it was so beautifully decorated. It was out of a storybook. They had like 5 Christmas trees completely decorated, and they totally decked the place out. So it was like a really cool, it kind of made you like feel fancy maybe, but at the same time like very homey, because I mean people are also living there, so they cook dinners and stuff, and everyone's really nice. I think it is pet friendly. I could be wrong about that, I'm not sure. And I'm not sure if they do like single night rentals. There might be some sort of like week minimum, but when my mom stayed there for about a month for 30 days, I think it was about $1,300, which is a pretty good price in the Springs for a 30-day rental. And it's just super beautiful. That's why I highly recommend it, is like the location and getting to see Cheyenne Canyon off of the balcony essentially. So it's a really cool place to stay. The last place I want to talk about before we get to things to do is the Garden of the Gods Resort. It backs right up to Garden of the Gods, has an amazing view from every single room. It is a little pricey, so I think it starts at about $400 to $500. It's definitely a resort style hotel. They have a spa, they have a bar and grill, and they hold a lot of like weddings and events there. But even if you can just do one night, it is a very cool place to stay. If you can't stay there, I'm pretty sure you can make reservations at the restaurant, and if you eat on the balcony, it's seriously one of my favorite views in this city. It is absolutely gorgeous. So definitely check that out, even if you can't stay there. Try making a reservation for dinner or something, or just swing by and kind of get a sneak peek from up there, because it kind of sits on a hill, and then Garden of the Gods is down here, so you can just see it so beautifully, and with Pikes Peak in the background, it is awesome. Okay, so let's talk things to do in Colorado Springs. This is going to be good for tourists and for locals. I've done all of these things living here and before I lived here, and I tell everybody that comes to visit me to do these things. So first off, if you are visiting or moving here over summer, we do have awesome summer weather. Like, it doesn't get too hot. But typically, I would say like June through August, you're at risk of some afternoon showers, and they can come pretty unexpectedly. So if you're planning a day of stuff to do and it ends up raining or hailing, you're gonna try to find something inside to do. And this is the perfect thing. So Cave of the Winds, it's basically cave tours. And the one I recommend, it's the only one I've done it like 3 or 4 times now. It's the Lantern Tour, I think it's what it's called. But they like tell you little ghost stories, and you get to go a little bit farther into the cave than just the regular tour. And it's really fun. It's a very cool experience, and I would say it's not like super spooky. Like, you can definitely take kids to do it, but I would just say do the Lantern Tour. Don't waste your time on doing the other one, because it's the same thing except shorter basically. Do the Lantern Tour because it's awesome. They also offer like some stuff outside of their little cafe waiting space that they have. So they have like, I don't even know what it's called. It almost like slingshots you over the canyon. I've never done it. It looks really scary, but if that's something you're into, definitely check out the little attractions they have outside of Cave of the Winds. I think they might have like a little jungle gym thing for kids too. But yeah, Cave of the Winds, because it's like kind of inside, but it's still doing something really fun. So keep that in your back pocket for if you happen to have some bad weather, cancel your plans or whatever. It's a really good option. If you're into the outdoorsy stuff, you're probably gonna wanna spend a lot of time in North Cheyenne Canyon. If you take that road up towards Gold Camp, you will find Helen Hunt Falls. It's a very cool place. It's a waterfall. There's a little parking lot, and when you park there, you can see one of the falls like from the lot. You don't have to hike up, but when you get there, there are stairs, and you hike up the stairs. There's like a little trail, there's more stairs. It's a little bit steep. It's not the easiest thing, like it's definitely more than going for a walk, but it's definitely doable for most people, I would say. So you hike up there, and then there's another waterfall. And it's just beautiful, and you can cross the waterfall, and then there's this like man-made lookout area. I'll put a little picture somewhere in here of me and my boyfriend recently at that lookout. But yeah, it's a super awesome, and it's just one of those cool things, you know, go to Colorado and see the waterfall. Also over in Cheyenne Canyon is Seven Falls. I haven't been there in a really long time, and they have changed it some, but again, that is more waterfalls. I'm pretty sure you have to shuttle in to do those, like you have to park and take a shuttle, and I'm not exactly sure what they got going on now. It's been like 8 years since I've been there, but there's Seven Falls if you want to see more waterfalls. And then also in North Cheyenne Canyon, or near North Cheyenne Canyon, is our zoo. It's a pretty cool zoo because it's built into the side of a mountain. So if you have kiddos or something, or if you just love animals, check out the zoo. During COVID, you do need to make reservations for a time slot. I'm sure that'll change at some point, but just look into that before you go. Definitely wear your walking shoes because you are hiking up the side of a mountain while you're at the zoo. But it's really cool to see some of the exhibits like in their natural habitat, almost like the moose and the bear and that kind of stuff is just built into the side of the mountain. And other than that, it's a pretty basic zoo, but it's just a very cool venue essentially. Something I don't want to talk too much about because it's probably the first thing you see if you look up Colorado Springs is of course Garden of the Gods and Pikes Peak. But I do want to tell you, you have a few options as far as touring those places. So for Garden of the Gods, you can of course drive through. That's what a lot of people do. But as a driver, you don't get to like look around a whole lot because it's very crowded. The road is curvy, so you're kind of watching the road. You have to stop to look. And so if that's not your thing, because that's definitely not my style, they offer a few different tours. So you can do a Jeep tour, which is really cool. You sit in the back of a Jeep that has like no roof on it, and you have a tour guide, and he drives you around so you can see everything while he talks you through it. There's also Segway tours, which are like those standing motorized scooters. And then they also do horseback riding tours. I didn't know that until recently, and I actually want to do one of those because that sounds really cool. But yeah, you have more options than just driving it to see Garden of the Gods. I definitely recommend making the stop as well for that. Then there's also Pikes Peak. You can of course drive up that as well. I hate driving, so what I like to do, and they're finally reopening it, is the Cog Railway. So it's been closed the past couple of years. It is reopening this year. It's a train that leaves from the base in Manitou, and it just takes you up the side of the mountain. You have some tour guides, and they chat you up while you're driving up the mountain, you know. You can see some wildlife. We saw some, I think there were sheep or goats, something, last time I was there. And then they give you time at the top of the mountain. There's a summit house, so they sell souvenirs and all that good stuff. And they have a little cafe that is known for their donuts. So they give you some time to get out, check that out, and then you get back on the cog and train right down the mountain. So just want to make sure everyone knows about those couple of options of other ways to see those super popular attractions. Another fun tour to take, I did it before I moved here, and a lot of people I don't think know about it, is the US Olympic Training Center. You can take a tour of basically where the athletes live and train. It's probably changed with COVID a little bit. I don't know exactly if they've stopped doing it or if it's coming back or anything, but it's definitely a memorable experience that I have being like a tourist in Colorado Springs before I moved here. And yeah, it was just super interesting. I mean, it's just what it sounds like. You get to like see the pool, the weight room. It was lunchtime when we went, so they got to show us like all the food that everybody eats, and it was just really interesting and just, I don't know, unique, because I just didn't even know that was a thing. So check that out. It's the U.S. Olympic Training Center. And then we also have the U.S. Olympic Museum. I have not done that yet, but it's brand new, so definitely check that out. And if you're looking for places to get a drink or maybe some food, one of the most popular places that people like in town is called Ivy Wild. So that is an old school that has been converted into a restaurant, well, a couple restaurants and a brewery now. So Bristol Brewery is at Ivy Wild. It's one of the most popular in town. And then they have a couple different restaurant sections. I think they have a distillery now, Axe and Oak or something like that. That's really cool. They have a giant balcony outside, and it looks like they've also added some seating and a fire pit. I have not seen that in action yet, but it's a super cool, like, hip, fun place. You got a lot of different options for food inside, and of course the brewery. You'll see Bristol brews at a lot of restaurants around town. A lot of restaurants carry Bristol. So Ivy Wild School, check that out. And then there is what's called the Airplane Restaurant. I haven't been there in a while, but it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a restaurant inside of an airplane. So they like cleared everything out and you can eat inside. They also have the cockpit open, and it has like levers and lights and stuff, and so you can let your kiddos go in there and mess around. It's pretty cool. I'm pretty sure the food is just like a regular American food. You're probably gonna find like burgers and fries type of food, but it's more the experience that people go for, and I believe they have like a little gift shop and stuff too. So the Airplane Restaurant, never heard of anything like that before I moved here, but check that out. And if you're looking for a place to shop, maybe to get some souvenirs or just stuff for yourself, Manitou is a great place to just walk down the street. There's a bunch of little shops, and they all have a bunch of cool stuff. A lot of them have like locally made items. Some of them are, you know, that made in China touristy stuff, but there are a lot of cool local shops. Also in Manitou is what's called old time photography, and I just did that for the first time a few weeks ago, and it's really cool. They like basically dress you up in costumes and jewelry and give you props, and you can do a photo shoot. I did mine with my family, and it's just really fun. I mean, and they give you everything you need. They take a bunch of pictures and you can pick what you want and buy a print or buy digital. It is kind of expensive because they give you all that stuff to use, and photography is kind of expensive anyways, but it was a fun experience. Also for shopping, you can walk Old Colorado City, which is on Colorado Ave. So basically like Colorado Ave, there's Old Colorado City here, and if you keep driving down Colorado Ave, you reach Manitou. So it's all kind of in one line. It's definitely, you can't walk from one to the other, or it would take you a really long time. I guess you could. But Old Colorado City has, again, those little shops. A lot of them are like small Colorado businesses. They have a big yard art store that you'll see if you drive by because they have all their crap out. That place is really cool. And then one of my favorite shops downtown is called Eclectic Co. And they kind of have like a little station for each small business or small creator to put their things, and then like everybody has their business cards in their little station and stuff. So like when you walk in, on one side is a bunch of reusable stuff, eco-friendly, like bamboo toothbrushes, reusable bags, reusable sponges, that kind of stuff. And then there's like a little section that has like a bunch of succulents that are all potted really cute. There's some homemade candles. There's a lot of like homemade jewelry and that kind of stuff. My friend has some stuff there. She sells like a coffee scrub, a bath bomb, and some lip balm. And it's just cool because you can tell everything is made by a small creator, and you can get one of their cards. Sometimes they have little stickers out for you, but it definitely, if you're looking for like made in Colorado products or souvenirs, that's definitely a cool place to check out. And that is, again, Eclectic Co. in downtown Colorado Springs. And the last couple of things are for those of you out there that are 420 friendly. So that is a big attraction in Colorado in general. There are a few different places you can stay that are 420 friendly. A couple of them I would recommend are the Mystic Portal and the Avenue, I believe it's called. The Mystic Portal is pretty close to Old Colorado City. So again, right next to like where all that shopping is. And the Avenue looks to be pretty close to the heart of Manitou. And Manitou is where they sell recreationally. So if that's something you're interested in, I haven't actually stayed in either of those places, but based on like ratings and location, those are the two I would recommend. And then if you're looking for a fun activity, there is what's called the Painter's Pot. So if you've heard of painting with a twist, it's kind of the same thing. Painting with a twist is with wine. The Painter's Pot allows you to smoke inside while during the art class. So they give you like a canvas and paint, and the instructor like gives you a really simple design to paint, and they let you smoke while you're in there. So if you're looking for a little Colorado experience, check that out. It's called the Painter's Pot. All right, and so those are some of my favorite things to do in Colorado Springs. Definitely the things that I tell my friends and family to do when they come and visit me, and I've done them all several times. So if you have any questions about the area, about what it's like to live in Colorado Springs, or if you need more recommendations of things to do, places to eat, where to grab a beer, anything like that, we are your local resource. We would love to help you, and more than that, we would love to help you make Colorado Springs your home. I love living here. I think you would too. So if you are moving to the area, whether it's 6 months, 12 months, 24 months out, shoot us an email, give us a call, send a text, get on our website. Whatever is easiest for you. We would love to help you make Colorado Springs your home. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to learn more about what it's like to live in Colorado Springs. And until next time, take care.